Great. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the online medieval Daoing exercise workshop. And my name is Daoyin, and I'm a researcher in the history of Chinese medicine, specializing in therapeutic exercises, known as Daoing. And I will be your host today for our workshop. Over the past year, our online medieval Daoyin study group has been meeting up fortnightly to explore Daoyin exercises from a 7th century Chinese medical text entitled Zhubing yuanhou Lun, Treatise on the Origins and Symptoms of Medical Disorders, which I translated and published with Purple Clouds a couple of years ago. So the group has been supported by Robert Coons and his Daoist team, the Daoist Arts Organization International, who have gave us they provided the Zoom hosting for us and with their technical support. So I really would like to dedicate this workshop to Robert and his team as a gesture of thanks. So this workshop grows out of our first year of shared exploration and give us also the opportunity to share with you some of the exercises that we have learned so far. And all these exercises that we have explored, they are or presented today, they are not set in stones. There's still room for improvements, and that's why we would like to invite people to participate these kind of exercises and help us to refine the instructions as well. So the more we can do these exercises, because they're not readily sort of available, so we're still trying to work out how you actually do them, because translating a text is one thing, to actually do those exercises is something else. So, but here we are. We've been doing the study group for over a year, and this is a wonderful opportunity for us to showcase some of the exercises. And today we have 5 instructors. We have Jessie, Crystal, Pascal, Felix, and myself. And I will begin a couple of breathing exercises. Jessie then will guide us through a selections of movements, followed by Crystal, Pascal, and Felix, each presenting their own set of exercises. So then after that, I will then return at the end to close the session by doing another breathing exercise. And then if time allows, then we can have a few minutes for questions. So so that's it really. So please note that this workshop is being recorded. So if you don't want to be seen, you're welcome to, have your camera off. And so that's it. So if you're ready, we're going to start with our first exercise. So it's a breathing exercise. You you can do it standing up, preferably leaning against the wall. If you can find a wall to lean against, that will be preferable. Or you can just stand, or you can also sit. So so find your position, a comfortable position, and then I will then give you the instructions. So this breathing exercise, basically, if you are leaning against the wall, you're going to tuck your chin in, or even if you're standing up, still better to tuck your chin in. And then you're going to inhale, bring your chi or the breath to your head. So it's the midpoint between the eyebrows and a few centimeters in. And then you're going to visualize this chi or this breath goes all the way down to the soles of your feet while you're holding the breath. So you're holding the breath, you inhale through your nose, holding the breath. Imagine the chi goes to your head, and then bring the chi down all the way to the soles of your feet. Then you exhale. So we're going to repeat that a few times. So I'm just going to do it by the by the wall, and I'll come back. The next exercise, you can remain wherever you are. So you're going to inhale. So you can do exactly what you just did. Inhale through your nose, bring the chi to your head. You're going to raise the toes. And then with the exhalation, you visualize the chi go down to the soles of your feet. Then you lower the toes. So you just, the same as the breathing exercise you just did, but this time you raise the toes when you inhale. And when you're ready to exhale, you lower the toes. So practice that a few times. You can do it standing, leaning against the wall, even lying down if you prefer, or sitting. And if you're able, next time when you inhale, you raise the toes and you do two rounds of breathing while still holding your toes. Then at the end of the second exhalation, you lower the toes. See if you can manage that. Hold the breath. Imagine the chi goes down to the soles of your feet. Then exhale. At this point, you inhale again. Keep the toes raised. Then when you exhale, you can then lower the toes. So with this practice, Eventually, you will get to 5 breaths while still holding the toes. But I think it takes some time to practice that. So basically, we're just starting with 1 breath, raise the toes and relax the toes. 2 breaths, still holding the toes, and then relax the toes after 2 breaths. Eventually, we get to the 5 breaths. So that is the exercise. So I'm going to hand you over to Jessie, who is going to be our next instructor and who's going to show us a set of exercises.
Hey, thank you so much, Dolly.
You're very welcome.
All right, so we're going to do a series of exercises that are in the section on spasm of the sinews, so like the contractile aspects of your muscles, with an inability to bend and stretch, so like spasm of the joints, of the muscles. And this is an exercise that specifically mentions spring, so that's why I decided to do it. So it's a because the sinews are associated with the liver, and the liver is associated with spring and sort of the upward moving of chi. And so we're going to be working on stretching out our arms and our shoulders. And so I'm going to break it down in a few sections, and then we'll put it all together. Okay? So the first idea is we're going to be bringing our hands front and back. So you want to have your body square, trying to keep your hips forward, and we're going to try to isolate the waist to get as much twist as we can. And so if our knees fold in, then we're not going to be able to get as much stretch through the rib cage. So you want to try and keep your knees pointing forwards and your hips square. So we're going to just practice a little bit by turning your whole torso, keeping your hips square. Turn your torso so your shoulders are as close to being in line as possible. And turn back the other way. Feeling the stretch in your rib cage, feeling the stretch in your waist. Keeping a little bit of a bend in your hips, a bend in your knees, but not letting them collapse inwards. So to show you from the side, we want to twist, try and get as flat as possible. Twist, twist, twist. And you should feel that a little bit in your waist, a little bit of a pull in the diaphragm when you do that. So the second part of the exercise is called polarity stretching. And so we're going to practice that by just bringing our hands out to the sides. And I want you to imagine that you have like a metal rod in between your hands. So we want to relax the shoulders, relax the elbows a little bit, and sort of reach out to what feels like a comfortable limit. And then we're going to stretch through the polarity of our hands. So we're going to spread our shoulder blades apart, spread our elbows apart, spread our wrists apart. And it should be sort of like an astringent feeling of stretch through the bones, through the tendons of our arms, even through the nerves a little bit. Okay, and just relax. And again, find that outer limit and then stretch through it, feeling those poles of your hands moving apart from each other and taking your whole shoulder girdle with you. Good. So now we're going to combine the two. So we're going to bring our hands up. We're going to sink into our hips, sink into our knees. We're going to turn, pressing forward, pressing back, and then stretch. Come in, bring our hands together, turn the torso, press forward and back, stretch, come in, press forward and back, stretch. And we're just going to keep going. Inhale as you come in, exhale as you stretch out. Inhale as you come in, exhale as you stretch out. I'm just going to show you the side view here. So we're turning our torso and then stretching our arms. Just do it a few more times on your own pace. The text says to do it 21 times. We're not going to quite get there, but please feel free to explore it on your own. And you want to try and keep your shoulders relaxed and open your chest to get as much of 180 degrees between your hands as possible. And we'll do it one more on each side. Big stretch. And relax. Perfect. So we're going to do the next exercise, which is a static posture. We're going to start with our palms facing down about waist height. And I want you to feel like you're sort of in a swimming pool with your hands on the edge and you're feeling like you're about to lift yourself up out of the pool. So you're pressing down against this invisible ledge, and that's going to sort of straighten your body up a little bit. And then this next part, I'm going to have to talk you through it because it's to look down. So you won't be able to look at the screen. So you're going to look down in between your legs, feeling that pressing down on the empty shelf. And we're going to bring our mind down to arrive at the heart. And we're going to feel our chi settle into our heart. And then we're going to relax the diaphragm and let everything settle down into the top of the stomach. And then we're going to use our visualization to settle down into the left side of the ribs. And then we're going to visualize everything relaxing through our body, through our legs, bending at the hips, bending at the knees, and settling down all the way to the soles of the feet, right into the heart of the sole of the foot. And I want you to feel that downward pressure on your hands, sort of lining up with downward pressure in your feet. So you're pressing your feet into the ground, you're pressing your hands into that invisible shelf, and you're relaxing the heart, the stomach, the left side of your ribs, and just hold this for a second. And anytime you feel tension building, just see if you can relax everything downwards even more. Just hold it until you feel the tension in your body settling out, relaxing your pelvis, relaxing your low back, pressing your feet into the ground, pressing your hands into the invisible shelf. We're just going to hold this for a few breaths, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Now relaxing your arms, they should feel a little heavier. We're just gonna shake things out a little bit, let your head move around, let your shoulders move around, leaning your shoulders from side to side. Rolling your shoulders forward and back. Loosening up this part of your shoulder here, relaxing this area, letting it hang and flop, getting rid of stuck tension in your shoulders. Now we're going to circle our shoulders forward and back. So in the spring, we have liver chi rising upwards. And so that posture, tilting your head down, bringing your mind down, the chi to the bottom of your feet, is a way of sort of counteracting that excessive rising chi in the spring. So it helps keep things settled and stretches out and relaxes your contractile aspect of your sinews. And just one last little shake out. And we're all done. Thank you guys so much. I'll pass it off to, I think it's Crystal, right? All right.
All right. Thank you, Jesse. I'm going to walk you through, we'll see based on time, but I have 3 activities that we're going to work through, also staying with our spring theme and focusing on the transition of wind. So these activities are designed to help expel that wind. We're going to start off with either arm. This is a 2-part exercise. So we're pick a side. We're going to do each side. We're going to extend our arm out to the side, palm up. And the other hand we're going to use, and if you need to do this sitting down, you absolutely could do this sitting down as well. But I'm going to do this standing. I'm going to also now take my chin in this little space between my thumb and my index finger. We're going to use that. We're just going to pull it forward a little bit. We're actually going to use the same sort of language as polarity that Jesse had used. So we're going to turn, and if you want to get a little bit more sort of in the neck to just create a little bit of tension, you can look slightly up above the horizon. So let your eyes, but not your head, just let your eyes go up a little bit. We're going to take our chin and just guide it out in the opposite direction. And our elbow is going to kind of be in line with our other arm that's pointing out. Okay, and then we're going to come back to the center. Use the opposite arm to grab the chin. The one that was holding the chin now goes out to the opposite side. And we're just going to give it a little stretch. All right, and we're going to come back. So we're going to do this 7 times. Let your arms drop down. You might need to give those a shake once you're done. They're a little stiff. The next part of this is still going to be using our hand to grasp our chin. You can use either left or right. It's up to you. The other hand is going to remain at your side. This time what we're going to do is we're going to use our chin. We're going to use our hand like a resistance as our chin tries to guide our head. So again, we're going to look a little bit over the horizon. If it's too much tension in your back, look straight wherever it's comfortable for you. There's no wrong way to go about this. It just not be uncomfortable. And our hand is going to offer us some resistance as we kind of look to the left and to the right. And we're going to do that a few times. Okay. And when you feel like that's done, give yourself a little shake. Yeah, so these are for the tension and stiffness in the neck. It can actually help improve some dizziness, even sore throat, and addresses cold in the shoulders, weakness on one side of the body. So we're going to sort of work our way up into some twisting. Now what we're going to do is maneuver our body. I kind of call it like flipping pancakes. It's we're going to, it doesn't matter what side you start on. Again, the text is going to tell us to do this 14 times. We might do a few less, but we're going to take our one foot, keep it flat on the floor, pointing towards your screen. The other foot that you're picking, I'm just going to pick my right side. I'm going to point it out towards this side. And we're going to, as we alternate, we're going to alternate the feet as well. So we're going to start on either the right or left side. You're going to turn your body with your arms. You can have them out straight, or you can, I usually kind of tuck mine into my body a little bit, and I just turn, lean a little bit to the back, and then quickly bring the hands to the forward, and I usually flip them like pancakes. And then when we come back to the center, so lean quickly back to the center, and then flip your other foot out to the side. So this one's now coming out to my place of window. I come out, lean a little bit, and then come back to the center as quickly as I can. And so we're going to go out to the side, twist, lean, quickly back to the center. Rotate, lean, and back to the center. You're throwing mud. Think about like spring. And I'm like, pick up this pile of mud and throw it here. Okay. All right. And then one more. Look how Dolly's getting her arms in there a little bit. Like, yeah. All right. And once you feel satisfied that you've thrown enough mud, we'll take a break. All right. And one more. This one is, I particularly like this one. We're going to stand upright, and it might be looking like something you've done before, but this time what you need to do actually is specifically with holding the breath. So you're going to do this to your limit. If that means that you can do one side and take a breath to the other side, that's fine. If you can hold your breath for all 9 of these moments, go ahead. We probably might cut that down a little bit, and maybe we'll just do 5 breaths. So we're going to lean to the left and to the right. That's going to count as 1 rotation. We're going to make an arch above our head. We're going to stand, bend the knees just a little bit, so you've got a little relaxation through the waist. Take the breath in and hold it, and then you're going to lean off to the side. Go as far as you can, but holding the breath, you can come up to the center, take another breath, or in the same breath, keep leaning to the opposite. One. We'll do 2 more. There you go. So our text does call for 9 rotations, but it can be a bit intense, and especially after the other 2 activities, I find that work up to the 9 rotations while holding the breath. So thank you very much. I'm going to pass it over to Pascal. Take a break, take a couple of breaths. Thank you.
Thank you, Christelle. So for the next exercise, it will be a sitting position. And this exercise are more for, are not in the chapter of the wind, but for pain of the body due to a deficiency and exhaustion. So the first exercise will be sitting with the leg apart. And the idea is to grab your toes if it's possible. If not, you can grab your ankle or even your legs, that's all right. And what we will do is that we will grab our tongue, we will inhale, we will lower our head, and we will hold the breath for a time. And when we finish, then we come back to the position. So we will do this 9 times. So we inhale, we take the toes, we lower our head, and we don't breathe. And then we exhale, coming back. Second time, inhale, take our toes, lower your head, hold your breath. And exhale, coming back. Third time, inhale, grab your toes, lower your head, hold your breath. And exhale. Inhale, grab your toes, lower your head, hold your breath. And exhale. We go for the 5. Inhale, grab your toes, lower your head, hold your breath. And inhale. And exhale, sorry. Coming back. Inhale, grab your toes, lower your head, hold your breath. And exhale, coming back. We have 2 more. Inhale. We grab the toes, we lower the head, and we hold the breath. And we come back. And we go for last one. We inhale, grab the toes, lower our head, hold the breath. And exhale. Okay. So we can relax a little bit. And then I explain the second set of exercises on 3 parts. So the first one, we have the legs. The legs will be apart from like this. After we will open a little bit, and the third time it will be a little bit more. So I go to the side so it's more easy to see. So the first one, we will have the palm facing each other. And we will do this movement of squeezing the spine like this. We will do it 3 times. And then we will open a little bit our legs. And then we will twist our arms like this 7 times. And the third part, we will open a little bit more the legs. We will put the hand on the mat. And then we will press the mat and it put a little bit pressure on the low back. We will do this 3 times. And the last exercise, we will come back for the first position. And this one is also that we have to grab the toes, if it's possible, or the ankle or the leg. And what we will do, it's in the book, it's 21 times, but we will do it only 7 times. So what we will do is grab the toe, and when we exhale, we will just go a little bit down. And when we inhale, we just relax a bit. So we will start the session. So the first one, we have the palm facing each other, and then we squeeze the spine 3 times, like 1, and we come straight, a second time, and we come straight, and a third time, and we come straight. We open a little bit the legs, and then we twist the shoulder and the arms 7 times. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And then we open a little bit more our legs. We put the hand on the mat, and then we press a little bit 1, and then we relax. A second time, 2, we relax. And a third time, 3, and we relax. Okay, and then we come back with the legs together. We grab our toes, if it's possible, or our ankle. And then we will exhale, lower the head, try to relax, and guide the breath and the chi to the sole of the foot. And we inhale, we relax a bit, and we exhale, and the chi is going down to the sole of the feet. And we inhale, relax a bit, and exhale, the chi goes down to the sole of the feet. One time, inhale, and exhale, the chi goes down to the sole of the feet. One more time, inhale, relax a bit, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. The chi is going down to the sole of the feet. And the last one, inhale, and exhale. And then slowly come back to the sitting position. And then you can relax a bit, and then I pass to Felix.
Thank you, Pascal. So I'm gonna show you some exercises. So the first one will be actually one which is designed for wind bee in the neck, but I think you can use it just for neck issues. And apparently you can use it in all seasons. So what you do first is you're sure that you're sitting straight, and then you tuck in your chin towards your chest. This one is not directed with breath, so you can do it with breath, or in the text it's not mentioned at least. So you tuck in and then you will lift up your head, and when you lift up your head, you at the same time will try to lift up, especially the bulging points, gallbladder 21 on your shoulders, facing the sky. So that's the idea. So you lift your shoulders up. And then next, you move your head to the left. And then you move your head to the right. And we can do this actually in 2 cycles of 7. I think we can do that actually. I think we have time for that. So we move to the left, and then we move to the right as far as we can in a relaxed manner. So this is one round. And then we do another of 7. Moving to the left, moving to the right. And I think you don't remain, so you just keep on moving, but you go as far as you can, and then you roll back. When you have completed the second 7 cycle, you can turn back to the center, and then actually what is said in the text is that you remain for some time still so that the chi will accumulate and settle. And when the chi and blood has done that, you can repeat this movement, but then you can increase the speed. And I won't do this the whole cycle again, but to get an idea. So again, you slowly move again, first to the left, and then you move again to the right, and you move back to the left. And at some point you can speed up your movement. I think you slowly increase your speed. And when you are going to finish this exercise, you slow down your speed again. So I only show this partially because we have a lack of time, but ideally you could do the same sequence of 2 cycles, and then you increase the speed, and then again you slow down your speed again, and then you bring your head to the center again. Apparently this is a very good exercise. Even when you're in a good health, it's said that it's very good to do 3 times a day. So at sunrise, at noon, and at sunset. And apparently it's very good to get rid of all kinds of wind bee diseases and even teeth wind and dizziness, ulcers in your mouth. But I found it very useful for a very stiff neck. The next exercise I will show you is also for your neck, but that's more when wind cold is affecting your neck. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand. And the first thing is what we do is we stretch our head, our hands and our arms all the way to the side. And according to the text, you have to keep this posture till you get an excruciating pain in your shoulders. So I've tried this, and for me, it takes quite some time. I have pain in my shoulders, but it doesn't get really worse when I stay like this. But at some point, it becomes uncomfortable, I think. So when you reach that point, and I assume in the text is nothing written about the breath here. So you can take in breath and inhale and exhale. But at some point when it's really getting uncomfortable, you can start to move. And then you move your hands to your hips or your thighs, sorry. And so you keep them in the same position in terms of the side, but you move them to your thighs. And according to the text, you can alternate with the speed. So you can do it slowly, and then you can do it quickly. And you can do it slowly and quickly. Slowly and quickly. Quickly, slowly, quickly. And again, this you can do in different cycles. When I'm correct, also you do 2 times 7. And then actually the next phase of this exercise is that you shake your hands gently, randomly in front and behind. This will loosen up your qi and will help to disperse qi. And the third part of this exercise is that you put your palms together in front of your head, and then you press down all the way to your belly. And then again, you bring your hand in front of your head and you press with pretty force, as far as you can, you press it down. And this also you do 7 times. So this is the conclusion of the exercise. It's interesting. I studied also more modern styles of Daoyin, which is deviated from Daoyin. And there is an exercise which is very similar, but then it's not like this, but you move your hands like this. And also you put them very straight and then you let them loose. But then there is also an alternation, but the alternation is then one time you go up and you really lift your hands up all the way and you lift your toes and this actually goes with breath. So you breath out. So you breath in, out, breath in, out, and you again high, out, breath in, out. So once very high on your toes, and you go down, and the next one is just the same side of your shoulder, and you go down. One time up, and one time normal. One time up, and one time normal. I found this very nice exercise, and I think both are very useful for issues in your shoulders and the upper back. So the last exercise, well, there's one exercise, if we have time, I'm going to show you two. But the one is for deficiency pain in your body, especially arms and ribs. And it's a very nice exercise too. Again, we have to stand. And I hope you can get me in full picture. So the first part of this exercise is that we extend our arms as high as possible. And we face with our palms to the south. So that probably will mean the direction we face. Actually, probably we do this with our face to the south, and then our palms are also towards the south. And then we move our palms in the four directions. And this we can do a couple of times. And the next part of this exercise is actually that we lower our arms. So we make it like this. So our arms should be more or less at the level of our shoulders. And then we extend them all the way upwards, as far as we can. So we open up the back in this way, and then we go down again. And then we open up again, and we go as far as we can, and then we go back. I think you could do this on your breath. Also in this text, the breath is not mentioned, but I assume you could do an in-breath, you can lift, and an exhalation, you go down. But that's something I just played with myself. But the core idea is that you really extend your arms as far as possible, and you move your shoulder blades to the back and upwards. So it really creates space in the interscapular area. You really can feel that it's opening up. And I can remember when we were doing this exercise, Dolly had a small variation. I think she did like this, which is actually also very nice. So you move your palms while you move up and down, you move your palms in the four directions. And I think that could be a nice alteration of this exercise. I tried both, and I like actually both. I'm not sure if that's correct, but that's with many of these exercises, we still try to figure out what these folks meant some 1400 years ago. And then the last part of the exercise, actually first we also turn around, and then we loosen up our hands. We move our hands and make them loose. And then we go back into the position. And then what we can do is we are straight, our face is straight, and then we raise our shoulders, and then we relax. And again, in the text it's not written, but I think you can combine this with your breath. So you inhale and you lift your shoulders, and you exhale and relax them. So you inhale, lift your shoulders, and relax. And this you could do 7 times, or 2 cycles of 7 times. And what appeared to me in many of the Daoyin exercises is that we hold a certain position, and then there is a release. And that's very, especially in these old Daoyin exercises, that seems a real pattern. Although in these exercises, it's not so much aligned with the breath. I found that a very interesting pattern, and it reminds me to some more modern exercises like in Sotai in Japan. Do we still have time for the Vogu, Dolly?
I
Or
think
you
you can you can introduce the Wogu, and then we
Okay.
can do the lying down maybe just
Okay.
for a couple minutes. Yeah, show people the Wogu.
Okay. The Vogu is very nice. I use a variation on the Vogu, but what you can do is you can actually, this is the Baiji line. So when you know for calculation, the Chinese like to do this calculation, so they use that. But you put your thumbs in all the way to your pink, to your little finger, and then you close. So you make a fist. It's a kind of mudra. And then there are different ways. What Dolly will very shortly will show how the exercise in this book is explained. I have a more modern version where you put it in your laps, and was developed by Mingye, the famous longman master of the 18th century, and he calls it grasping the core. So Wogu is grasping the core and darkening the heart. And actually, apparently, the only thing you need to do, and we don't do this exercise now, but you can play with it, is you put them in your lap and you just focus on your fist, on the Wogu, but actually your chi will go to the heart. And from the heart, actually, it will start to open up all the low vessels around the heart and the chest and to the face. And ultimately, actually, the chi will cover your whole body. It's a very nice exercise. I do it every day. It's very good to energize. So I will pass on to Dolly.
Thank you so much, Felix, and thank you for all the instructions. That it's just such a rich exercises, so varied, and it's just so wonderful. And this text is like a treasure trove for the Daoyin exercises because it covers nearly 200 different Daoyin exercises. So what we just have is about 15, 20 exercises. So we're going to conclude our session, our workshop today by just another very gentle breathing exercise. And now we're involving you holding your hands in a fist, like a wo. This is called wo gu, the one that Felix just showed you. But you could lie down. Actually, that's a preferred position, or you can just sit as well. But your hands are in the wo gu positions. If you're lying down, you bring your arms slightly further away from your body. And what you're going to do, you're going to take 5 and 6 in breath through your nose, and then you're just going to exhale once. Yeah, so 5, 6 in breath, exhale once. So the length of the inhalation is more or less the same as the exhalation, but with the inhalation, you take 5, 6 in breath through your nose. Your hands are in a wo gu positions, and I would recommend you lie down, and we got maybe just one minute to do that. So let's just do it. So when you're ready, you can gradually bring yourself to the sitting position and yeah, and then you can come back to to the screen if you like. So thank you so much everyone for joining us today and for your participation. I mean, it's been a really, for me, eye-opening because I actually do not know what the other instructors would do. And I think it's really, really interesting to see how they demonstrate those exercises. I think it's just so wonderful. And so yeah, so if you would like to continue exploring these kind of exercises, as I said, there are, nearly 200 different exercises in this text alone. And you're very welcome to join our online study group, which we meet every fortnight. Thank you. Around on Saturdays, around this kind of time. So you're welcome to, if you want to, leave your contact detail, your email address, your name, and so then I'll be able to add you to our mailing list. But we do ask you to be able to access my book. It's only because we're using it as our textbook when we are studying together. So it's this exercise prescription in Sui China. So if you can get hold of this book, that will make life much easier because we're going to say page, however, and then you're going to, we read the text together. So it's not quite the same as the workshop that we've been doing. And it will be more textual based, but it's still very, very interesting. So yeah. So once again, thank you so much, everyone. I really would like to, thanks again to our instructors. They are amazing. And, without them, we won't have the workshop. So that's it. Well, thank you
Do
so
we have
much. And because we are obviously running out of time, but I'm happy to sort of hang around. If anybody wants to ask me questions, you're very welcome to do so. And maybe other instructors will hang around as well, but please feel free to leave. Yeah, so thank you.